navigating being pregnant after having a loss is definitely one of the most terrifying things I've ever done. But no matter if it's this or something else, think about something that you did that was terrifying and you did it. You got through it. Like, be so proud of yourself, because that was another thing that's really helped me. Like, just tuning into the energy of being so proud of myself. I was like, Lindsay, you are a badass. You are a badass for getting to this point, for being pregnant again and just like making it through. It makes me think of the Taylor Swift song, like, I can do it with a broken heart. I'm sure that's how so many moms feel, and in other situations too. Like, we just have to keep going, even if your heart is broken, even if you've gone through something traumatic. Sometimes you just got to keep doing it. And a lot of us can do a lot of amazing things with a broken heart. So be so freaking proud of yourself for doing those hard things, because it was not easy, and it just shows what you're capable of. Welcome to Alignment Adventures. This is a podcast where we explore what it means to live a fulfilling, aligning, and present life. I'm your host, Lindsay Tanner, and I am so grateful that you are here. Hello, my loves, and welcome back to Alignment Adventures. I am so excited that you're here today, like always. But today we're coming back after an unplanned month and a half, almost 2-month break from the podcast. Like I said, that was not planned at all. But I want to come on today and just catch up with you all and share why I had to take the break. And for me, this space, not only is it so cathartic for me to share these things, what's going on in my life, and hope that these lessons or these takeaways can help you in some way. But like I just mentioned, if it could help one person, like, that's worth it to me to share. Like, it just feels unauthentic to come back on here and act like nothing's going on. And also, I just want to catch you up on what's going on in my life. I feel like you're all my friends. I want to hear what's going on in your life. So if you're watching on YouTube, comment down below. How have you all been? How are you feeling with this spring energy here in the Midwest? This week has been absolutely gorgeous. I just got back from a trip to Vermont where it was very snowy and cold and total winter vibes. And then I came back to spring here in the Midwest, which has been amazing for my mental health, for my soul, because I've truly been hibernating these past 2 months. I've been doing the bare minimum. So let's talk about why that is, what's been going on with me, and how this can hopefully help you no matter what stage of life you're going through. You can apply these concepts to anything that you're going through. And yeah, just let me know how you're doing in the comments, whether you're watching on YouTube or Spotify, or message me on Instagram. Okay, let's get into it. So if you can't already tell from me being out of breath, or maybe you can kind of see already, I am currently 15 weeks pregnant, and I am so grateful to be able to say that on here. If you have been listening for a long time, you know that I have experienced 2 pregnancy losses this past year, one in July, one in November, and here we are, 15 weeks pregnant, 5 weeks to being halfway through, which is crazy. Honestly, it feels like I should be farther along, but I think that's because this journey has just felt so long, because it has been long, thinking about all the other pregnancies. Like, I was pregnant, including this time, 3 times last year. So my hormones were definitely all over the place. We're going to talk about that today. I really want to share some practical things that helped me, just in case it might help one of you. I'm not saying this is the fix for everyone, but if it can help one person, it is worth it. And then some things that have just helped me mentally, spiritually, all the ways. So let's just start from the beginning, shall we? Because that just makes the most sense to me to talk about it chronologically. So last time I talked about like my personal life and what was going on pregnancy-wise was after the second loss that I experienced in November, and we were in New York while it was happening. Like, while the loss was happening, I was in New York, which honestly was such a blessing looking back in hindsight, because I think if I wasn't on a trip, I would have just been sitting at home wallowing, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it just really helped distract me from what was going on. It got me in a better mindset. So many beautiful things happened on that trip, aka JC Chasez. I will never stop talking about that moment. So when I got back from New York, there was one thing that I felt so strongly nudged to do. Like it was such a strong intuitive nudge. And that was to stop drinking coffee. Now, I think I've talked about that already here on the podcast. So in New York, I was like, I'm going to drink all the coffee. And then when I get home, I'm going to stop drinking coffee. Honestly, it just felt like the one thing that I had control over. I knew that my hormones were out of balance. I could tell from like my face and just the way I felt. And obviously coming off my second pregnancy loss, I was like, this is the one thing I can control that I think is really going to help my hormones and my body heal. So I cut out coffee and I switched to tea, which now I'm not even drinking tea, and we'll talk about that here in a second. I'm strictly just drinking water because I'm so thirsty. But I switched to tea for a while, and that was hard at first. Like, obviously, if you're a coffee drinker, we know that we have like caffeine addiction is a real thing. It's a real thing. So I feel like I had a few weeks of coming off that, and then I had pneumonia, which I think I've talked about. Anyways, so I feel like not drinking coffee was the thing that really helped my hormones. And in my heart, I feel like that is the one thing that really helped me get pregnant again so fast and have a successful pregnancy. There's another thing that I did too that I'm going to talk about here in a second. So I stopped drinking coffee, and can we just say, like, when you've had 2 pregnancy losses, it's overwhelming to know where to start. Like, where do I start to get information on like what's wrong? Like, what should I do differently? That's such an overwhelming feeling. I know a lot of people may like go to the doctor right away and like maybe get tests done and all of that. And that just felt so overwhelming to me. Like I didn't want to take that route. So I was doing what felt intuitive. So the first thing was stop drinking coffee. Second thing I did, and I didn't start this actually till after I found out I was pregnant, but I had 2 people mention to me taking progesterone. So this is actually pretty common, I've learned, along with like pregnancy loss. Again, like let's just talk about how incredibly common it is to experience pregnancy loss. So please share this episode with anyone that you think needs to hear this message that has experienced that. But also taking progesterone is pretty common, at least from what I've heard. Also, can you tell I'm out of breath? I thought that was like a 3rd trimester thing, but it's been from the first trimester, and you might have already realized that from my other podcast episodes. So I first heard about taking progesterone from my sister-in-law. She mentioned it after the second or during the second pregnancy loss, saying that a few of her friends have done it and had success. And it was like a spark inside my brain, but it didn't feel right quite yet to start taking it. Then I ran into Steven's cousin. It's like his 2nd or 3rd cousin once removed, but we're just going to say cousin for simplicity's sake, who is a naturopath and I think actually specializes in fertility. Like the synchronicities here. I ran into her at a Christmas party, and I was just talking about this with her because she actually knew I was pregnant the 2nd time. So I told her that I was no longer pregnant, and she mentioned the same thing. She was like, one of the most common reasons as women age is the progesterone factor. And a lot of people supplement with that. That just helps you have a healthy pregnancy. It helps the baby attach correctly and all that. So I was like, that's interesting. She even told me like you can get at-home test strips to see if you're low in progesterone. And then you can get like all these different types of supplements. So I actually ended up finding out I was pregnant December 22nd. So right before Christmas. And like I mentioned in the last episode where I talked about pregnancy loss, getting pregnant again sounded terrifying. Like I was terrified to get pregnant again. So when I saw that, I was obviously excited, but also terrified. And it was right after the last one. TMI here, but we're going there. We're explaining all the things in case it helps anyone. I didn't even get my period in between. So I had no idea how far along I was. I had no idea on any of those things. I just know that I got pregnant right after the 2nd pregnancy loss. So I took that test. It was positive. I got my at-home progesterone tests and I took those. And it said that my progesterone was like at a certain level, but when I chat GPT'd it, which if you're not using chat GPT, like You can use it for anything. I was literally asking AI, if I'm this many weeks pregnant, what level should my progesterone be? And it told me, like, such a random use for Chat GPT, but it was very comforting in that moment. And according to Chat GPT, it seemed like it was at the lower end from these at-home strips. So I messaged my midwife, who has been a true angel throughout this whole thing. It's a group of midwives. They've all been so kind. So kind. I'm so grateful that I've had them throughout this experience. But I messaged her through like the portal, and she just prescribed me progesterone. So I didn't start taking progesterone till after I found out I was pregnant, but I took that basically through the first trimester. So those are two things pragmatically that I feel like helped this pregnancy be successful, was the no caffeine and the progesterone. But again, I know everyone's different. I just want to share this in case it helps someone out there. Maybe those are things that like your intuition is pinging and it might help you or someone you know. So after I found out I was pregnant, after I got the progesterone, it really was just a waiting game. And those are the hardest times, as we all know. It is so hard to be in the unknown, especially after experiencing something traumatic and being in that fear mindset, or it could be so easy to be in that fear mindset. And I definitely felt that, but I did the best that I could to just distract myself, try to feel as good as I could in the moment, not in a perfectionist way. Like I was not high vibing it all the time. We'll get into how I felt physically, but like mentally and spiritually, I was just trying to take care of myself the best that I could. And one thing that really helped me was I just tuned into this energy of being proud of myself. Like I was really proud of myself for going through this again so soon and just like making it through. Like I was just so proud of myself for making it through. So eventually I made a doctor's appointment. I waited to the last moment because I feel like I may be superstitious here, but the past 2 times, each time I made the doctor's appointment, I had to cancel it because something had happened before and I knew that it was a loss. So I waited to like the last possible moment to make a doctor's appointment. And I went into the doctor, and that was one of the most terrifying experiences. Just going in to get an ultrasound and seeing, like, I didn't know what I was going to find, obviously hoping for the best, but a couple things that helped me there. Again, I tuned into that energy of being so proud of myself, and that just helped me feel good. Like it just helped me get into a positive mindset, because those what ifs are strong, and that fear mentality can be so strong, especially when you have past experiences that make you want to be fearful. Like it totally makes sense. It's totally legitimate. And I still feel it now at 15 weeks. And I have to remind myself, like besides the past experiences, there's no reason to feel that way. Like it has been a beautifully healthy pregnancy, and we'll get into that more here in a second. The second thing that really helped me in that appointment was I tuned into my grandparents' energy. All of my grandparents, all 4, both sets of grandparents are in the non-physical now, and I can feel them all the time. Like I just love connecting to them. So in this moment that I was super nervous, super anxious to get this ultrasound, I just kept tuning into their energy. And honestly, I could feel it, like full body chills. I could feel their presence. And I'm so grateful for their love and guidance. I know they're guiding me all the time, because that truly helped me in that moment. So I went and got the ultrasound. There was a sweet little baby moving around in there. Like as soon as I saw like the little blob, and then it was moving, and then I could see like the heart moving really fast. That is one of those moments that I will absolutely never forget. Immediate tears. The lady giving me the ultrasound was probably like, what's going on with this girl? So I explained what was happening to her, and she's like, oh my goodness, I can see why you're so emotional. It just was one of those indescribable moments. And it's one of those moments I want to like keep in my back pocket, along with like my JC moments that just, you'll never forget. Like they're just otherworldly. And seeing that little baby with the heartbeat was just, wow. Like what an exhale. Just an indescribable moment. So I ended up being 9 weeks at that point. And since that time, I've been able to go to the midwife again and see the baby. We found out the gender, which I'm going to just tell you guys on here. We're having a little girl. That was another moment that I will never forget. We just like pulled it up on my phone, like nothing fancy, no gender reveal. Pulled it up on my phone, saw that it said female, like that. I was making sure that wasn't my gender too, because obviously that's on there. But it said sex of the fetus and it said female. I still don't believe it. I'm like waiting for the anatomy scan to confirm it because I just did not think that was possible. We have all boys on Steven's side and my side. Besides me and my sister, there really aren't any girls. So my mind has been blown by that. I've had so many deep thoughts about having a daughter that I would love to share on here. But yeah, it's been a wild ride. And honestly, I just keep tuning into the energy of gratitude. Like, I'm so grateful to be at this point. I know so many other journeys have had so many more ups and downs than mine, and not to diminish what I've gone through because that was a lot. But I'm just sending so much compassion and love to anyone that needs it on this journey because, man, is that a freaking journey? Just trying to have a successful pregnancy. And I have so much gratitude to be at this time and space. Do I still have anxieties and fears and worries? Hell yes, I do. I do all the time. But like I said, I just tune back into that energy of gratitude. I remind myself that there's no reason to think that there's anything wrong besides the fact that like my mind is just trying to protect me based on past experiences. And I've made it way past the points that I made it in the first two. And like I said, my midwife has been so gracious. Like, she's like, call us anytime you need like our support mentally. They're always asking about my mental health, which is just a total different experience at the doctor's office. Like, I've never had a doctor ask me about my mental health before. I'm not saying that's the case for everyone. In my experience, I've never had a medical professional ask me about my mental health, and she asks me all the time. And I just think that is amazing. But she's always like, if you're feeling worried, call us, we'll get you in, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, that's where I'm at now. And so the whole point of the story, why I had to take a break, is let's rewind to how I felt with Arlo. With Arlo, I felt amazing. I also set an intention at the beginning of my pregnancy that I wanted it to be like no drama. I wanted to enjoy it as much as I could. And I did. Like, I did so much when I was pregnant with Arlo. I created my course, Discover Your Internal Guidance, in the first trimester. I cannot believe I did that. I started my YouTube channel. I was doing so much for the podcast. And with this little girl, it's been the bare minimum. It has truly been the bare minimum. I don't know if it's second pregnancy, if it's the gender difference. I don't know. I didn't set that intention because I was just set the intention of having a successful pregnancy. And maybe I've just been hyper aware of how I felt. But man, I felt way different than I did with Arlo. I always joke that I was that annoying person with Arlo saying, I love being pregnant. That's truly how I felt with him. I was like, I love being pregnant. I could do this so many times. I want to be a surrogate, blah, blah, blah. I feel totally different this time. Just super low energy, nauseous, have to eat like every hour or else I feel like SHIT. Yeah, if you know, you know. So it's really been like draining me of life. So bare minimum, as you may or may not know, before when I got stuff done for the podcast was when Arlo napped, either in the morning while he napped or at night after I went to bed. And now during those times, I am also sleeping because I could sleep all day, especially like end of January, February, parts of March. Like, I truly felt like an animal that needed to hibernate. I just wanted to sleep all day. I wanted to be in bed all day, which is not feasible when you're taking care of a toddler, not to mention two toddlers. Like, I watch his cousins still. So that has been a good learning experience for me. And I've just been trying to tune into my body and rest when I can. And I am starting to feel better. I'm still ravenously hungry. I still feel not good when I don't eat. Like, I don't feel hungry, but I start to feel bad. So I know I need to eat, even though I don't want to eat, and nothing sounds good. So that's been my predicament. I tell Steven, like, the thing I think about the most is food. Like, what am I going to eat next? And I just feel like nothing sounds good. So I'm always trying to think of something that sounds good. I'm very grateful to have these problems. I tune back into gratitude when I try not to feel like overwhelmed by the symptoms, because honestly, the best way to describe it, end of January, February, and March, I just felt hungover. Like, I felt hungover every single day. And that can kind of drive you crazy after a while, because when you are actually hungover, you know eventually you're going to feel better. And I just wasn't feeling better. But again, it's like you can feel two things at once. You can feel like shit, but also be so, so grateful at the same time. So that is why I haven't had any podcasts recently. Today was the first day that I felt like I could do it. Arlo is with his grandpa. He watches him sometimes on Fridays, not every single Friday. So that's a beautiful opportunity for me to record as many podcasts as I can. And first things first, before I record any other episodes, because I'm not just going to be talking about this all the time, I promise, I just wanted to update you on my life and share this with you guys and celebrate it with you guys. And of course, I want to hear what's going on with you guys in your life. I'm not kidding. Let me know in the comments. Message me. I want to hear how you're doing. Hopefully feeling that beautiful spring energy. It has been absolutely gorgeous in the Midwest here. I just got back from Vermont for my stepsister's bachelorette party. It was beautiful. It was snowy vibes, wintry vibes, but I came back to the Midwest and it was like spring was here, and it's been amazing. It feels so rejuvenating. I love seasons. I will never stop talking about how I love seasons. Also, another random thing, if you're watching on YouTube, I just got my hair cut and she did a number on my hair. Like, I've never seen it this curly. These are like my natural curls. I mean, she diffused a lot and did a lot of other things, but no other styling tools, just a diffuser. And this is how curly my hair can get. So that's interesting. Another thing I really want to talk about when it comes to what helped me during this time, and especially now when it comes to feeling anxious and scared and fearful, is I tune into the energy of how I will feel once I know what I want to know. I feel like it's so easy in situations like this to be like, okay, I'll just feel okay, safe, happy, relaxed when I get to this point. And then you get to that point and you're like, okay, but I'll just feel that way when I get to this next point. And that point keeps moving and moving and moving. It doesn't matter if you're going through what I'm going through. We all do that in life. You're like, I'll just be happy when I get a new job. I will just be happy when I move. I will just be happy when I get a new house or meet that person. And then you do those things and maybe you're happy for a little bit, but then it's like, what's next? What's next? What's next? What I've really been trying to do is I will tune into the energy of how I would feel after I get like that affirmation that she is doing just fine in my belly. Like, how will I feel after I go to the doctor next and I see her on the ultrasound and she's just thriving? Can I feel that way now? And I've been trying to do that as much as I can. And she has been thriving. I've been to the doctor twice now. I've seen her on the ultrasound twice. And she's thriving in there. She's doing great. So I just keep tuning into that energy. Like, it's valid that I have the fears and the anxieties, but I don't have to stay there. I can consciously choose to tune into this other energy. So I'm not constantly like chasing this feeling of safety, right? Because that's kind of an illusion anyways. I was talking about this with another friend. She's like, yeah, I really didn't feel safe until she was in my arms. I'm like, oh, I don't want to be like that this whole pregnancy. I don't want to be worried this whole pregnancy. And if you are worried your whole pregnancy, there's nothing wrong with that. But I want to also enjoy it as much as I can, even despite all of the symptoms that I was complaining about earlier. I want to feel safe and relaxed and supported and happy now. And I feel like that's going to help her thrive the more that I feel that way, because she feels what I feel. Like, the things that are released from my brain into my blood, she's also feeling in my womb. And not to be a perfectionist about that, because I'm not going to feel high vibe all the time. But that's just something that's really, really helped me navigate this third pregnancy and navigate pregnancy after loss, because that's no joke. Navigating being pregnant after having a loss is definitely one of the most terrifying things I've ever done. But no matter if it's this or something else, think about something that you did that was terrifying and you did it. You got through it. Like, be so proud of yourself, because that was another thing that's really helped me. Like, just tuning into the energy of being so proud of myself. I was like, Lindsay, you are a badass. You are a badass for getting to this point, for being pregnant again and just like making it through and not. It makes me think of the Taylor Swift song, like, I Can Do It With a Broken Heart. I'm sure that's how so many moms feel. And in other situations too, like, we just have to keep going, even if your heart is broken, even if you've gone through something traumatic. Sometimes you just got to keep doing it. And a lot of us can do a lot of amazing things with a broken heart. So be so freaking proud of yourself for doing those hard things, because it was not easy and it just shows what you're capable of. And yeah, that just was a really powerful energy for me to tune into, and really, really helped me in some of those dark times. Tuning into that energy of being proud of myself also helped me realize, like, damn, if I can get through this, I can get through anything. And that's a powerful mindset to be in. Like, if you're like, I can do this, I can do anything, because then you can release that fear and really go after things that you're wanting to go after, which is such a powerful feeling. And I love being in that energy. One more thing I want to talk about before I wrap up. And again, I don't want to do this with a perfectionist energy. Have I said that a lot in this episode? Like, I just don't want to be a perfectionist with any of this. But like I mentioned before, when I found out I was having a girl, I had so many deep and profound thoughts. And not to say I haven't felt this way with Arlo, but like, I know Arlo looks up to me, and I like determine a lot of things about how he sees the world. Like, he models things after Steven and I, and just like picks up on our energy and how we see the world, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like with a girl too, like, the way I talk to myself is how she is going to talk to herself. Like, my self-talk is going to be her self-talk. And I'm like, damn, I got to make sure, not in a perfectionist way, but like, that I am modeling that healthy, confident, self-love, self-talk to her. And there's just like little things here and there that I have noticed about myself that I still want to release, like especially people-pleasing energy. And I have been hyper aware of that recently. And I feel like I've been a little bit better at setting boundaries and saying no when I really mean no. And those are things I want to model for her, because I feel like, especially for females, that's an easy energy to slip into, like just going along with things, just like being the good girl and like, you know, not causing any trouble. Like, I really want to model that confident energy of like tuning into yourself, tuning into your own intuition, and doing things that align with you, and saying no to things that don't align to you. And of course, we're compassionate towards other people, but like, it was such a beautiful invitation to go deeper into some things that I want to work through. And I say this all the time about parenting, but even like being pregnant with a little girl, like, this has caused me to start therapy again. Like, I finally found a therapist that I'm really clicking with, and I'm starting that again. And it's just like such a beautiful invitation to like look at the things within yourself that you are ready to release. And not that there's anything wrong with us, ever. I truly believe that. But there's always things that we can release, and there's always things that we maybe could do differently to help us live a more aligning, fulfilling, and present life. And I just love looking at parenting that way, because obviously parenting can be such an adventure. It's so beautiful, and also some of the most difficult things you can do. So if I can look at it in that mindset of it's helping me become a better person, that helps me so much. So I think that's all I have to say today. That is my personal update for today. I'm not sure when this is going to come out, because I haven't like announced anything on social media, but I'm almost like, do I need to announce anything on social media? That's a whole nother thing I've been diving into recently, of just like deleting social media. And I feel so happy when I'm not on Instagram and Facebook and all the other stuff. So you guys may be the first to know, besides the people in my immediate life that know. And I just am so grateful for you all. Thank you for sending me good vibes on this journey. I have felt it, and I'm sending them right back to all of you. I'm hoping that this spring and this year brings you so many beautiful things in your life, or just helps you realize all the beautiful things you have going on in your life right now, because I'm sure that there are so many beautiful things happening for every single one of you. I'm going to try to record some more podcasts today so you have more to listen to in the coming weeks. So make sure you're subscribed if you're not already on whatever platform you're listening to. Remember, you can watch on YouTube if you want to see my curly hair. You can comment on YouTube. You can listen on any platform. Please share it with anyone that you think needs to hear this message, specifically anyone going through this. I just hope I can help as many people that I can. Not that I'm an expert on this in any way, but it just helps people feel less alone, I feel like. So sending you all so much love, all the highest vibes, and of course I'll see you in the next episode of Alignment Adventures.